Don't forget.
Don't forget. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Stanfield Hunting Outfitters in Mossburg. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Yes, sir. And got a couple special guests in the house today.
Do you remember their names? No, you don't.
Yeah, Katy and Laura.
Katy with a Y.
Lara.
And Lara.
Sorry.
L-A.
Why did they get that name? Lara.
Why?
Dude, was
I
your
didn't
mom,
know why
why'd
your
mom
parents
name
hate
you?
us.
Yeah. What'd your mom name you that for anyways? You named after something
I was named after a cousin.
named Lara.
Lara.
And why'd they name her Lara?
I have no clue.
were they missing some letters or something?
No, I think they were just trying to be unique, but they
They
just
were
messed it
unique.
up for everybody.
Yeah. Let's call her Lara. Yeah, that's it. Lara. Yeah. It sounds good, darling. Let's do that.
They didn't like Sarah. It was just
Sarah,
too used,
Lara.
so they just had to change
I know
the S
Dara.
into an L.
There's not a Mara.
Yes, there is.
A Mara?
As a last name.
No, we're talking first name.
Well, my name is used for last names for some people, but they
Lara?
pronounce it Laura, so yeah.
No, Laura is spelled with a U. Laura. Are you from Arkansas?
I'm not.
Are you sure?
Straight from
You have headphones.
Texas.
No, please don't do that to us, Texans.
That's where I'm from.
We would never come up with a name like Lara.
See,
What-
you're already mispronouncing it.
Is Lara?
Lara.
Lara.
Lara, like
Sarah.
Larry.
Like
Like
Sarah,
Larry.
but with an L.
Like Larry.
And then she tells me, Katy with a Y. Well,
I
yeah,
don't
I'm
have a
gonna.
Y.
Hey.
No, her.
I know.
Katy with the Y. Like I'm gonna tell that over the podcast. It's Katy
I
with the Y,
needed to
folks.
No, I told her to spell it. I need spelling for when I write this out. I have correct spelling in the episode description.
Katy
See?
with a Y.
So she helped me out. She did as she was told.
Now this is we've
That's
had-
rare for her.
what's rare for her.
Doing what she told.
Only you.
Only you. Yep.
So this is actually, I'm going to say this was a weekend I was really nervous about because it's a lot of somber, to me, very somber and sad deal. But it's been a lot of fun, and you ladies have really been a real blessing here. And on a serious note, we're here at this Gold Star hunt. You ladies both lost your husbands, and I really don't know what else to say about that other than that because I want to say I'm sorry, and I am, but I know that's not really enough. But I know there's. I mean,
Now,
I'm hung up here, so thanks, Andy. Go ahead.
when and you two met at it's TAPS? That's what it's called?
Yes.
Yes.
What is that?
Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors.
And then who puts that? Is that it TAPS that puts it on? Obviously, it's not
Yeah.
like it's not something from the military or anything like that.
No.
It's a private organization.
They do grief camps, and that's where we met.
And that was 7 years ago? 8 years ago?
Yep.
A grief camp.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that does not sound like a fun time.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
I mean, there
Well, I mean,
was
look what you
some-
got out of it. I mean, you got a
Exactly,
good
yeah.
friend.
Lifetime friends.
Yep.
yes.
Which one of y'all's the crier?
We both
Both.
probably cry pretty equally.
Yeah.
Because I'm the crier out of me and Andy. I am. So you went to grief camp and y'all become friends, and you're an oncologist nurse, right?
Oncology nurse, yes.
Oh, that's grief camp by itself. It is.
There's
Yeah,
happy
I mean,
moments in it
There
too.
is.
Yeah.
I've had 2 situations with hospice, and guess how they both ended?
Well, it's not hospice nursing.
Well, oncology. Okay, have dealt 2
There's
deals with
big
oncology,
difference.
and guess what happened?
They passed
They ended
away.
up going to hospice, and then they died. So it's the same thing.
Oh, my dad passed away from cancer too.
Yeah, it's some
so-
bitch is a bitch. You
My
got
mom.
mine.
But there are
When-
people that come back from cancer and they go into remission and they
My father
live a long life afterwards.
He
But
came
what
back?
is the ultimate deal? What happens to them? They die.
Well, Jeff, that's
Well,
the ultimate
everybody
deal for
dies.
I don't
everybody.
know. I was just trying to make
Well,
myself sound smarter on this.
he also can't eat and has a trach.
Your
But he
your
came,
father?
Yeah, my father-in-law.
Father-in-law.
He came back from cancer. He didn't have any more, but
Cancer is
yeah.
a brutal
He
bitch.
lost his saliva
Yes.
glands. He can't eat. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean it's a horrible deal, and so
Yeah.
oncology, hospice. I was thinking of hospice counselor, so excuse me there. Well, I am all y'all. All this emotions this weekend's got me all like we. I want to thank Mossberg. Mossberg gave guns to the boys that are here right now, and I couldn't even talk about it because I knew I was going to start crying. It bothers me so much, and y'all have been like the strong ones here. I mean, y'all got drunk, played cornhole all night.
It's not drunk.
Somebody broke
drunk.
a pinky.
Yeah. So how do you break a pinky playing cornhole?
That would be his fault.
Rick Keller.
Yep.
How's Rick break your pinky?
He started it,
Yeah.
by the way.
I'm really lost here. We play
He started
cornhole every
throwing
day.
bags
He threw a
at her,
beanbag.
and then I backed her up.
Oh, and he didn't. He tried to stop me from taking it out of his hand, and he smacked my hand.
You're a nurse, so you know
Yeah.
rub
He
some
got
dirt on it.
super exactly.
There's a lot of stuff goes on here at night after I go to bed. I guess it happens. We had to throw a guy out here one time. And I'm Scotty Goggles for throwing beanbags on the roof.
Oh,
And now are we fixing to have to do that again?
I don't know. Are we?
Yeah, Rick.
None of these are the guilty ones.
They're like, who's the two people that's got thrown out here? Scotty Goggles and Katy with a Y.
No way. I back up my friend. You better watch out.
So it wasn't Lara's fault.
Nope.
Nope. Entirely.
So Rick Keller, the camera guy here that's filming all this for season 2, what's he doing? He's breaking chicks' pinkies.
Yep.
God.
That must have been a hell of a game of cornhole y'all were playing.
He wasn't even playing cornhole. He couldn't even make it on the board.
He was supposedly supervising, but not doing a very good job.
He's hurting the.
I think he had an ulterior motive. I'm thinking here. Do you think so? Because I'm telling you right now, Rick's been up here probably about 18 nights in the last 2 seasons, and I have yet to see him one time supervising any men playing cornhole. Have you, Andy?
I mean, I don't know what all he does out here, but you know.
Do you think he has?
Yeah.
You think
I'm
he's
gonna say
supervising men?
yeah, making
I'm
sure
saying bullshit.
making sure that the rules are getting
No.
followed, and making sure that everybody's getting
No.
a turn, and making sure the beanbags don't end up on the roof. He's doing the Lord's work, Jeff.
If y'all didn't have breastises, he would not been out there helping supervise. I don't think. Just my 2 cents on that deal. What do you think? You going with me or against me on
I'm
this
going
one?
against you. I
Yeah,
think
you're full of shit too.
Rick's intentions were pure. He just want to make sure beanbags didn't. He knows that we're in Biden's in office, and it's there's a beanbag shortage.
Yeah, tensions are pure there.
There's a beanbag shortage out there.
Beanbag
So
shortage.
Okay,
wants to make sure
With
they
the
don't
wrong
end up-
bean bags, might I add.
Let's get to the reason we're here. Rather than do the podcast, y'all are here for Gold Star. Both of y'all lost your husbands fighting for our country and serving for our country. What has been the? I know that I'm trying to watch how I say this. What has been the hardest adjustment over the years? Not like year 1 or 2, but like year 5 on.
Raising the kids without them.
Yes.
That's the hardest part.
Yes.
How old were they when your
100%.
husbands passed away?
Wyatt was 5, and then my older daughter was 2.
You got an older daughter too?
Yeah, she's 12.
How many kids you got?
4.
Jesus.
I just got 2. Elijah was 7, and Logan was only a year and a half.
So you have another son too, and how old is he now?
He's 9.
9. You should have brought him too.
He had a game this weekend.
What is it?
Baseball.
Baseball? Travel
He-
baseball?
He loves his baseball.
So
That's tough.
So y'all had to raise your children without. Did you have a lot of help at home? Like, did you Did you get a lot of help from our government when something like this happens? That's what I want to know about.
I mean, yeah, and then there's that's one of those sticky situations.
For the most part, there
Yeah.
are some things that are changing for the better.
Yeah.
So it's being worked on where stuff is lacking.
See, it's what pisses me off is that we can give money to other places, that we ought to be taking care of our veterans. We should be taking care of our veterans, widows, and the kids.
But what was lacking? Because I mean, I'm ignorant to all this.
So there's different pay situations, and some people don't get things that other people do,
Yeah.
depending on the situation. So say someone whose spouse dies overseas, like at war, versus someone who dies from suicide, they get certain things that the other one doesn't.
Being
Which-
in battle gets
Yes.
some things
Yeah,
that
they get a little bit more.
The ones
Yeah.
who are in battle get
There's more of a
other
combat
get
pay
other
than the-
benefits, get other benefits than the ones that
Yeah.
die from other reasons. And a lot of the times those suicide situations, are caused by what they've experienced
Right.
overseas.
Yeah.
So they should be considered combat related too, and a lot of them aren't.
Now, was yours a suicide?
No.
No, he was not.
No, but I know a
But
lot
you
of
just
people
know
who
people
are.
that have had suicide
Yeah,
I just
we
read
have-
this morning one of them
We have a
happened. There
few
was one
friends
today.
that have suicide. Yeah. It's
There's
just-
have you seen the video of the highway patrolman that pulled over a guy?
Yeah, I saw that today too, and he was on the suicide.
He was on the
hotline.
suicide hotline and he said, I'm about to do it. And he was on the phone with the suicide hotline, and I don't know if the highway patrolman had served her, but he's like, we'll get through this, bud. Like, we're here. Just hop out and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I think suicide has become more, I shouldn't say accepted, but people are more sympathetic for suicide than we were 20, 30, 40 years ago. I think people are realizing that there's a lot of problems that I never served. I mean, I never served. Andy never served. I have a lot of respect for anyone that didn't. I always have. I've had a lot of friends that served. But I don't think a person like me understands what it goes like to what someone who serves sees. I mean, there's just no way of possibly. I can't imagine me worrying about day in and day out, 24/7, that some dumbass is going to blow me up with a suicide vest, or I'm going to get shot at, or whatever it is that the guys go through. I don't think people like us understand, and so I can't imagine the pain that y'all went through. I can't imagine the phone call y'all got when this happened, and I can't imagine looking in my eyes of my kids every day, knowing that something that reminds you of their dad. That you see in that every day, and that's got to be hard to do with, but it also has to make you happy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm happy that they're here and they are so much like their dad, for sure. It's nice seeing him in them all the time. Like Wyatt's a spitting image of his dad, and just he walks like him, he talks like him. I mean, I didn't know all that stuff was genetic as far as even
Like
dancing
the
for that
wa-
matter.
Yeah, same
It's
with
just weird.
Elijah. It's like copy and paste.
Really?
Like, it's absolutely ridiculous how much.
And they were pretty,
Like the whole demeanor, his
yeah.
everything.
And they were all young
Yeah.
enough that you wouldn't figure that
Yeah.
would be an impression that they got from him. So it's got to be some sort of genetic
Yeah.
something.
Your son is like 6'2".
Yeah.
He's a big son bitch, and he I shouldn't say son bitch, big old kid, and that's just the way I talk. He shook my hand when he got here, and I thought, some bitch must work on a dairy. He squeezed my hand. I'm like, damn, son, how old are you? We'll call him Mongo.
Oh yeah.
He's
well,
a big old
his
boy.
dad always taught him. He's like,
Shake your hand, shake it.
You're supposed to, but you're not supposed to do fragile old men that way. He hurt me.
You are not fragile.
He hurt. It hurt. I was like, oh, son. Was his dad a big man?
6 foot, 200 pounds.
He's bigger than
So
his
he's
daddy.
bigger than
Hurt
his
it.
dad.
Yeah, he is bigger
He's a
than
moose.
his dad now.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you. He did. He come in. Hello. Shook my hand. I was like, good Lord, son. What is your mom feeding you down there?
Now,
Everything apparently.
Well, he ate last
ate
night
4
3 plates of chicken. 4 or
I
3.
don't know.
He's like,
he heard the
Then
enchiladas.
he takes your food. I'm like, you don't have to take your mom's food. We have plenty of
plenty.
food, son. We feed you whatever you want.
It was my food.
Oh, was it yours? He's
was
like,
our food.
I've already had 2 plates. I feel bad. I said, but go eat all you want to.
Did you see him stack up like 3 cookies for lunch today with a thing of ice cream on top?
and-
I'm making him 2 steaks tonight.
Oh boy.
Because I
that should
asked
be-
him, I said, "Do you need 2 steaks?" "Yes, sir." "Buddy, I don't want you mad at me. I'll give you 3 if that's what's going to make you happy."
now, did your husbands, did they pass away around the same time, or who died first?
It's about 2 years apart. I
About-
lost
Yeah.
my husband first in 2012.
Mine was 2014.
And then, so were you going to TAPS before that, or did it take you longer to realize that you might need help?
I did take a while to go to anything like that, just because I'm just the kind of person that I work things out myself. Typically, I don't seek help over a lot of things. I guess because I've had bad experiences with counselors. But with TAPS, I had been to my first TAPS event was actually their national seminar, which they hold in DC, and they do like a big event there every year around Memorial Day. And so I'd went to that before, and then when I heard they were having the regional one in San Antonio, me and my mom and my kids attended that because my mom typically goes with me to events like that.
That's why
'cause
you had the resting
I don't
bitch
like
face.
to be by myself.
The
That
resting
is why.
bitch face?
No, when I first saw her at the desk at the hotel checking in, she had the resting bitch face on, and I was like, "Oh nope, Yep, staying away from that. And now look.
What is the resting
7
bitch face?
They look like they're in a pissy mood all the time.
Yeah, like stay the heck away from me.
I had that
Don't
whole-
even come talk to me.
Don't even. It ain't worth
You're
it.
gonna get your ass chewed.
So that's called the resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Resting bitch
I always
face.
thought that was Jeff. Please don't buy me a beer and ask me to dance. Look, 'cause
RBF.
I seen that a lot when I was younger.
Lots of RBF for
Some girls just have it worse than others.
yeah.
Yep.
So how did you finally break the ice to where now, I mean, here we are all these years later and y'all are.
We were in a counseling session.
We were in a session.
It was
had-
6 months out.
There was
Yeah.
a question that was asked.
Where we lived, I think.
No, it had
right?
something to do with the kids.
Oh.
And so she was saying she was having some issues with Elijah at the time. And so I offered up some advice because I had been through something similar with Wyatt. And then that's
Yeah,
just
okay, yeah.
history.
So how, I want to understand that. So, you go through one of the worst days in your life. Your husband, you get the phone call, your husband passes away.
You don't get a phone call.
They show up.
They
They
show
show
up.
up to your house.
You get the news that your husband has passed away. I gotta imagine that there comes a time where your kids can stray and they can cause you problems and issues. So when is the appropriate time to start? Like, no, like it's time to move on, and I've got to be a mother to you more than anything, and like I've got to correct you.
From the very beginning.
You do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And is that
still-
something
there-
that y'all didn't do at first because, like you said, you were having some issue. You had issues with both of your kids.
I did. I always held Wyatt responsible for his actions.
Uh-huh.
That's always been something I've been a firm believer in, regardless of the situation, because I'm not going to let him use that as an excuse
Right.
for him to act that way. Bad behavior is not acceptable at all. Whether you're going through something or you're not going through something, there's other ways to outlet that.
Yeah. And but I mean, it's just, and I can understand parents that do want to kind of coddle their kid a little bit longer because I mean, look at what they just gone through. They're a little kid and
Yeah.
they lost their dad. Like, let's cut them a break. And I'm sure
Yeah.
so many parents can be like, well, he's dealing with it in his own way.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
I don't know.
he
It
still
was
can't grow
one
up to be an asshole.
specific thing with Elijah that I just could, I tried everything, and then she gave me some advice that really helped. And
What was the advice?
it's been 7 years. Do you expect me to remember that?
Oh,
She was having issues with it. I remember.
She might remember.
She was having issues with him constantly talking back to her.
Oh, right.
That's a kid deal.
And even
Yeah.
when
This
we
was a
would
teenager.
hang out, well, he wasn't a teenager at the time.
How-
He was only 7.
Oh. yeah,
Yeah.
Different now.
And
Well, I got a 7-year-old that.
well, the
Tell me your
problem
advice
was-
because I need it just for my kid.
So it wasn't just normal talking back. Like everything she would say to him, she would get attitude from it. And she
Yeah.
would say, "Hey, can you go pick up that piece of paper off the floor?" And he's like, "I am."
Mm-hmm.
Like for no reason. There's no reason to be so hostile when you're just being asked to do something so simple.
Right.
Well, you've never had a wife.
Back to that RBF. Yeah.
So he was a typical kid then.
Yeah.
Well, not.
I
But
feel like it was a little
It
more
was a little more.
than
So.
They ever use it as a
than
crutch then?
acceptable. Wyatt has never used it as a crutch.
On you?
I don't think so.
Well, that's good then. But at y'all's ages, they were younger. I think you
I
probably find that
was-
more with like a 13 or 12-year-old when
Yeah.
something like that happens.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say it as a crutch because that comes across as not very caring probably, but they
Kids know.
anybody learns to use a crutch if it's to their advantage.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
and it's
for
not
sure.
just that. It's just kids know how to manipulate parents.
Mhm.
And if they see that as a possible way of getting out of something, then, I mean, they're just being kids. And
Oh,
they
my
know that they can
12-year-old
get away
has
with it.
tried.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've already been around you one day and I can done tell that's
He
the
ain't
wrong
getting
person to
by
fuck
with
with.
shit.
Yeah. She got it with that. As soon as she walked in the door, she had that RBF on. Like, I think I've seen you before. You look like an asshole. I'm like, what the hell did I do to you?
So instead of your name now, he's just gonna, hey, RBF.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Well, at least
Yeah.
you could say that correctly.
I know.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the ribbeth.
Ribbif. So Wendy, are both of y'all dating now?
Well, we're gonna go way into this conversation, I
Well,
guess.
no,
Now, so
I
I know
want-
what the rules are now. So good. Cut me loose.
How long is that different for everybody? Is that just kind of a comfort thing?
It's different with everybody.
Yeah.
You've had a couple of kids since you started
I've had 2.
so you got 4 children now, which we talked about earlier. I think you're going to start an arc with Noah and start.
No, I'm done.
That's what everybody that
Four
has.
is it?
That's what everybody that has 5 kids says. At 4, I'm done.
The 4th one was a surprise.
That's what they
Yeah,
always
she
say
called
about the
me
4th one
first.
too.
Really?
Bawling. Yeah, I was the very
Whoa,
first
hold
one.
on! Don't
Yeah.
bawling. You know, people are
Yeah,
gonna think
she
this is
was
unwanted.
crying.
With just happiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Overcome with
Scared,
emotions.
happy.
I was terrified because the one I had just had was only 8 months old.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yep.
You need a new hobby. Good Lord! Wow.
Jeez.
Wow. Whew.
Not enough
Yeah.
TV channels, I guess.
I knew I should have got
You can get the
Dish.
sports package. So the new man. Can I ask about the new guy?
Sure.
Okay. I don't want to. If I touch someplace I shouldn't say, let me know, and we'll ask more questions. Okay, because this is really stuff we want to hear about. The new guy. Now, not to sound. No, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to say it anyways. The new guy. That's hard to be that second guy. I would think
I couldn't
Is
imagine
it-
coming into that.
because first of all, the first guy was perfect. He probably wasn't, but he
Okay,
is
maybe
now.
not
Now he is.
absolutely perfect.
But now he is.
Yes.
And so everything you do is going to be, well, he did it this way, or he done this way, or he did. So it's got to be tough to be the second guy.
Not necessarily. I've always tried very hard not to compare because I know if I were in that situation, I wouldn't want to be compared.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I keep in mind that everybody's different. Everybody has their own personality. But there are things like that I say to myself or that I think to myself, man, life was so much easier when
Yeah, please don't say that to him.
things
He
were
don't want to
this
hear
way.
that.
No, I wouldn't. But like,
Just in her own comfort.
because
course.
because everybody is different, but it's difficult. It's difficult for them, yes, but it's difficult for us too because we're treading new waters. Even though, like for me, I got married when I was 17. I got married right out of high school. I had literally, he graduated 2 days before we got married, and I graduated like 2 days after. So we were high school sweethearts. We, did everything together. We went hunting together. We went fishing together. And then he left for the military right after we got married, a week after. And then, so my life had always revolved around his life after that point because I followed what he wanted to do, which was join the military. And he knew from kindergarten that he had planned on joining the military. So it was not a surprise for me. I knew from the very beginning.
What
Now,
about
did
you,
y'all
Kate?
get married early because he was
Because he
going
was
to the
leaving.
military?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, Katie with a Y. What about you now?
I was we were 19.
Drag this a little bit closer to you. Or, yeah, you can just pull it. There you go. You're 19.
I was 19. We were high school sweethearts also.
A lot of high school sweethearts in here.
Yep.
My wife and I are high school sweethearts.
I didn't know my wife in high school. She would not have liked me.
So you were 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was already pregnant. So.
Oh, okay. So you put a ring on it.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy.
Can't believe you said that.
Came home. What did he do? Come home for put a bun in the oven while he was home for a little bit.
This is the stuff that he does about every 5th podcast. I'm like, I can't believe he said that. He put a ring on it.
That's what you're supposed to
I
do,
mean,
right?
he did.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I just
Yeah, and it was history ever since. So
I had 2 kids with him. So.
Yep.
yeah,
and
wasn't
you
that
have
bad of a
and you
deal.
have a new husband or man now?
mm-hmm.
A husband?
No.
No, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we thinking about getting married?
No.
I could understand that. I could see the fear in your eyes.
No.
So how long have you and him been dating?
7 years.
God almighty. Whew.
What does he do?
He
Doesn't get married, it sounds like to me.
No. He works as a service writer at Ford in Bastrop.
And then your new fella, military or no?
No.
Not going that route again?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed.
You wouldn't
but
avoid it?
Yeah. I just what happened. Yeah, he does lightning protection.
Well,
I don't even know what that
I
is.
don't know what that is, but what's he doing? Like putting...
Grounding wire and stuff in like the skyscrapers and stuff. And
So he travels a lot.
no, just around Austin, Temple, all that area.
So
And then, like, can you imagine, like, the kids, like, you know, these guys say something to him, it's like, bitch, what have you done? Ain't listening to you.
What
Typically not. But lately, Wyatt has gotten a little more ballsy about stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
so-
6'3", so like,
has
yeah, of course.
Elijah.
No, it's Elijah's a big one.
Yeah.
Elijah has two though, so.
He has too. Well, yeah, that's just
But
because
Elijah
he,
doesn't care.
Oh.
Elijah doesn't care what he says. Like he's in that teenage.
Yeah.
Do
know.
they have relationships with the boys?
Yes,
Fatherly
but
type relationships.
it could be better.
Yeah, it could be better.
Yeah.
So the adult needs to step up more. Is that what you're saying?
They both do.
Definitely.
Both
Yeah,
adults
both
do,
and the kids.
and
yeah,
the kids.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I meant. The
okay,
kids
when you
and
said
the
both, I didn't know if you said both.
No,
My man and her man.
You're
all the way around.
You're
All the way
you're throwing the
around, yeah.
lightning chaser down the road, you know, big time. So
We
that,
talked on the way up
but
here. He
that-
needs to
that's-
step up.
because that's a tough role for them. But after 7 years, you should know your role. I would think. So, are you going to be a dad?
Well,
here?
you're a step parent. I mean, you could
Yeah, but when
shed
I married-
some light on this.
When I married Michelle, I married a family. I married her and I married the boys. And I was going to raise them as my own, and I have. And I consider Andy my son. I've had him since he was 8 years old?
You got married in 97. I was born in 87.
Feels like 1943 I got married, but it's been a long time. But I've raised the boys like they were my own. We do stuff as a family. I mean, I've been there. Something hurt them or something, they go to the ER. I mean, I was there. And that's what... I don't understand the stepdad relationship.
Well,
If
they
you-
were really close in the beginning, and then now they've kind of separate.
It's an age
I feel-
thing, though.
Yes, it
because
is the
even
teenage thing because
Andy-
it's different now.
Andy never ever was a problem. So when he was raising him through the teenage years, it wasn't bad. Zachary, the middle son,
Who'll be out here tonight?
and then Payne, who is my biological son, were a lot harder to deal with when they were 14, 15, 16 than Andy ever was. They were that same smart ass kid type shit. And that's a typical deal.
Yeah.
But I loved them unconditionally, all three of them. And so even if things were bad, I was there.
Yeah.
But I was there every night. We had dinner as a family every night. We argued, we laughed, we did everything together. But I never understood the people that it drives me crazy when I have guys up here to hunt and they'll be like, "Do you have any kids?" "Yeah, I got a stepson at home. He's 15. Does he hunt?" "Oh, we don't do." What? How do you live in a house?
How do you have a
with
stranger
someone?
in your house?
Yeah, how do you not
basically?
do stuff? You know,
Yeah.
we talked about shit. We did. There was no difference. The kids that the boys graduated with, that was their biological dads that they lived with. My relationship with my boys were probably as good or better than all of them was.
Yeah.
It was not all of them was better, but it was as good as any of them was. And so I don't understand that part of you're dating someone for 7 years. That kid is your kid to me. And I hope I'm not crossing the line by saying that, but that's how I feel about stuff. Whether it's teaching them to fish, to hunt, talking to them about sex, long back showers, whatever the hell it is you're talking about, you need to. They need that person in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to date mom, you're dating that kid, and that's the way I feel about that. And that's I
agree.
put my name on that any time, and I would argue with anybody that says any different. And it's different if there is a dad in the picture that's a regular full time dad.
Yeah.
Then you can still be a dad. You might be the stepdad, but you're still the dad. But you still can be there for the kid all the time. Because I know some situations where it's a great stepdad and a great dad. He's there all the time. They do stuff, and they've got to learn to commingle and coexist. Well, in y'all situations, there's not a dad there no more.
No.
Those boys need dads.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lara, when did you know that you needed to go to an organization like TAPS? Was there something specific that had happened that you were just like, you know what, maybe I need to talk to somebody about
Well,
this?
so I didn't know about it for a while. I think my first one I went to was in 2000. It had to have been 2013 or 14. I can't remember. But somebody, I'd went to Snowball Express, which is another organization that I heard about from a friend whose husband had served with my husband, and he was killed 2 years prior. And she had told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds really, really cool." And I think it'd be great for Wyatt to be around other kids that have been through this kind of stuff, because Carson was still real little, and she wasn't old enough to go to Snowball yet. And at Snowball, that's when I learned about TAPS. And so that following year, so I guess it was 2013, I went to Snowball. And then 2014, in around May, they had that national event. And so me and Wyatt and Carson all went to that. And it's really cool because they have mentors for all the kids at the TAPS events. And it's just basically some of them are just, civilians, and some are actually veterans or they're actual military members who will volunteer for the event, and they come out and spend time with the kids, and they're there for them if they want to talk or whatever. So, we went to this event because I was like, oh, well, that sounds good. And I needed, to hear some of that kind of stuff too myself, because they have different seminars for different situations. They have a lot of suicide stuff too. And probably more so than they have just grief camps for regular stuff, because it is such a problem. But they had different classes for like, newer families versus families who've been, 3 years out versus 6 months out or whatever. And so you could go to the different seminars, and they would have ones about, grief, or ones about happiness after, or meeting somebody new, or, just the different ways to cope or to deal with the different situations or life events that you may meet during, your journey afterwards.
There's like a lot of financial ones too. Like they help out with just about everything. So
they should.
Well, and I mean,
or at least they try to.
And it's got to help too. And talk about tough people at these seminars that are willing to, give their time and help people through some of the darkest times of their lives. I couldn't do it, but
a lot of them are surviving spouses themselves.
They are, so they kind of know what level, where you're at in your in your grief cycle.
Sometimes the best counselor is someone that's been through these same, because they understand.
Oh no, the best.
Yeah,
person.
Probably the best. Because, like, if I was a drug counselor, it wouldn't do any good. Because I don't know a damn thing about taking drugs. Yeah. Overeating, boy, I'm fucking be right there. I'd be an expert. But so you need someone like that's been through your unique experiences.
Oh, for sure.
Do you, around the base places around Fort Hood, these big bases that people live at, you're going to find a big concentration of women that have been through the same thing you did, or a husband who lost his wife the same way. I mean, that happens. Do you find that you have a group of ladies that have gone through this, that y'all go over and get together, potluck, bring glasses of wine, or does that not happen very often?
So not typically. We do have a small friend group that we've just met through different events that happen to live in the same area. And we do hang out just
as much as we can.
Yeah, just not super often, because everybody works and everybody has kids and their own lives. And so it's just hard to get together. Like me and Katy, we used to see each other almost every day.
Yeah, but we also lived 30 minutes apart at the time. Now we live an hour, but we see each other
maybe once a week or once every other
week.
week.
You text each other every day, though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When I heard that y'all come up together, and he told me, and he said, yeah, 2 of the moms are riding together. They're friends and stuff. It made me feel good, because it made me realize, there's somebody there. Because you feel for the underdog.
Yeah.
And what's made this has been a very enlightening weekend for me, because I was really not looking forward to this, because I'm emotional and I thought I was going to be bawling the whole time. I really did. I really thought this is. And Andy made a comment the other day. Said, "Listen,
you might be bawling. He brought a flask water to get you.
Knock shit out of some people in here."
But he told me, he said, we don't need you getting all emotional and crying and stuff in front of everybody. And it made me really think. I thought, well, I'm not going to do that this time, because I get upset. Anything with a child, anytime a kid's involved, it really bothers me. And then when y'all come in and y'all's attitudes, and the boys yesterday, and y'all shooting and stuff and cutting up, and I thought, these people have moved on in life, and they're not forgetting where they come from, but they're enjoying and making the most of their life, and that's a very important thing. And I think that maybe we need to find more ways to get these people that are in this same situation to do more things, whether it's hunting, fishing, whatever you're doing, to find a common thread.
I feel like when I met her, I feel like that helped a lot, because I don't know what I'd do without her. Like, I will call her if I'm having a bad day around the time that Michael died, or around his birthday, our anniversary, anything like that. I will call her if I'm having a bad day, because she knows I will just be a slump all day, or I won't do anything.
It is really easy to get in a funk around those times of the year.
It really
is.
And
sometimes it's like a series of like events. So with mine, he was killed in April. Our anniversary was in May.
Oh yeah.
And then my birthday in June, and then his birthday was July. So it was like, you know,
it's
all those
all in
months
that.
together.
Yeah.
And Christmas is the most brutal time of the year for people that have had anything happen bad to them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, you know, that the happiest time of the year is the saddest time of the year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's,
Well, a lot of people have seasonal affective disorder, just even if their life's going well.
I don't even know what that means, but okay.
Days are so short. A lot of people
Oh,
are.
geez, here we go.
Hers are in that clump of what 3 or 4 months. Mine is spread out, but it's different. So
Well, and about the time you get over one slump, then
Yeah,
you're
there's
coming
another
into another
one.
one.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
I just got over
and
this.
hers are like
back to back to back to back.
I guess with in the boy, when your children were little too, you've got little kids and Christmas is supposed to be a deal. And then you're battling an inner battle with yourself over being sad and depressed about that stuff. Y'all are some brave, tough ladies. I'm telling you right now, y'all are kick-ass moms too. I really was impressed with that. and I just, y'all are a lot of fun. Your boys are very well behaved
Thank
and
you.
they are normal kids. I don't know if that says much, but I think normal kids today, normal kid is really a blessing because there are a lot of jacked up kids in this world.
Yeah.
But they're good kids, and y'all are taking your time to bring your kids on a hunt. And that's a great thing. I mean, that really is. How did you find out about this hunt?
Our friend,
We have a friend named Sheila.
we went on a widow's retreat with her, and she gave us some more like even camps for the kids to go to because we had no idea about them.
A lot of things.
And
yeah.
then she had us get on the Gold Star Widows page so we could know more, you know.
Yeah, there's
of
a
what's going
Facebook
on.
group
Yeah.
that I think she created
Yeah.
for kind of
And
it
she's
was
a veteran
originally
as well.
just she's a veteran. It was originally just kind of like the Texas area and things in Texas, but it's kind of spread out a little bit. And the more people that join, everybody is encouraged to share things that they've been to, you know, for like this kind of stuff, so that others can reach out and, you know, go and their kids participate in these kind of events as well. And so everybody just shares on there, and then you kind of mix and mingle the things that you've been to or done, and you know,
or if you have
this
any
was really
questions
great, and
or
so
need any help with anything, she'll find out, you know, what she knows.
she's really good at resourcing.
Yes.
Well, there's going to be other moms that are going to listen to this because we're going to do the same event every year. And next year we want to have 8 kids here. So what's the lady's name or do y'all want to give her Facebook out or anything?
Let me see.
You don't
if
have to
I
give
can
her cell
find
phone or
that.
nothing out. You don't want to do it to her. But just the name of because people are going to
Sheila
listen
Ponder.
Yeah, it's Sheila Ponder, but I'm trying to think of the name of the Facebook group.
because someone's going to reach out to us over this and say, listen, my sister, her husband passed away and they've got 2 boys or a boy.
Having all of them together and talking and finding common ground, like that's what helped me and that's what made our friendship. And I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. She's like a
Need the
sister to
Wi-Fi.
me now.
Oh, good bless. Don't ask me.
So-
What's the Wi-Fi here?
Yeah, that's why. That's why I was handing it to you.
Yeah, because there's someone that's going to listen to this that lives somewhere within 100 miles of y'all that's going through these same dark days that
Yeah.
y'all went through. And she's like, I just need a friend or I need
Yep.
some help and I need someone to help me with my son.
That should
And,
do it.
you know, and that's what we need more of.
Yeah.
People helping people. That's what we
Yes.
need. People
And I
helping
think
people.
the boys meeting other kids, it helps them too. Because
Yeah,
they
they've
can
got-
talk
they
about it.
relate
They can
to
learn.
something.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of kids out there without dads and every situation is completely different, but they need to talk to someone like that.
Yeah.
They need to find. But you guys have done a fine job of mama. I'm telling you right now, those boys, when I watched them hunting, and yet they're respectful. They didn't look at me like, what the hell are you talking? You know, one time, I get that from my 7-year-old grandson all the time.
So the name of the page is Gold Star Family Place to Share Info.
Well, she couldn't make that any longer, could they?
What is afforded to y'all as widows when your husbands pass away? Like, you hear of antidepressants getting, to soldiers returning home. Do y'all have any of that benefits of going to is there like a VA for y'all as survivors to go to that is under the...
We do keep TRICARE if we choose to. So you get TRICARE for 3 years without having to pay for it.
What is TRICARE?
That's the insurance.
Okay.
through the
So you're telling
military.
me that after 3 years, the military cuts off your insurance?
No,
No,
but
it just
you get the
goes to, and
veteran-
it's instead of being TRICARE Prime, it goes to TRICARE Standard unless you pay for it, and then you can keep TRICARE Prime.
That's bullshit.
which is what I did, and
That's what I did,
paid
too.
for it. It's not outrageous by any means.
It doesn't matter. It's bullshit that they charge you after that. That
Yeah.
pisses me off, and that doesn't fucking surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So
I'm
you
sorry.
have 3 years, and then it switches over.
But
The boys get it like the boys keep it.
Forever.
Yeah,
So it's
well,
just
until-
you. It's just you as
until they have
until they age out.
Yeah.
I think when they turn 18 or something, if they go to college, they get it till 21 maybe. But I
They
don't
could
know
go
for
to
sure.
22, 23, 25. I got no problem with that. I got a problem if y'all don't get remarried. You still are the widow of a
Yeah.
veteran, and it's bullshit that you should have that same deal to last you until they put you in the dirt, unless you get remarried. If you're married, then you're on his dime. I mean,
Which is a whole other battle
Yes,
because I
that is
think
a
that's
battle.
bullshit.
getting you think that you shouldn't come off?
I think that because my husband died for those benefits, regardless of if somebody gets remarried, who is this next person to come along? Why should they suddenly have to be burdened? Not that it would be a burden to somebody, but to take care of me. I take care of myself, honestly. I don't
I
need
can
somebody
tell
to
I
take care
opened
of
up a
me.
can of worms on this one.
But it shouldn't be a till somebody else comes along to take care of you.
Well, what are we talking? So you think that? Now,
She's saying
first of all,
indefinitely.
I'm being the devil's advocate here, so I'm not saying everything I'm saying I believe in, okay? Because I don't. But let's say that.
Why are you gonna say it?
It
then,
doesn't
Jeff?
matter what I'm gonna say here. It's gonna come out the
You're
wrong
about to
way.
get that RBF.
Yeah. So you think that you should get the same benefits until you're 75 years old?
I mean, if that's what it is, yeah, that's what it is. But my thing is I take care of myself.
Right.
Nobody
No, I
takes
understand
care of
that.
me. But
She don't need no sugar daddy coming along and
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't. But the thing is not everybody is going to have the ability to take care of someone. So say, someone gets those benefits. It's not just insurance that they lose if someone gets remarried.
They lose everything.
all their benefits.
Yeah.
Like what are you talking about?
They lose the military pay benefits. They lose like every monetary benefit they get, they lose. They lose their insurance. They lose Social Security. They lose all that stuff.
See, I agree with you on most of that. And now that I look back at it and you say it like that, I really can't. You make a lot of sense. There really is no reason you should lose any of your monetary
Yeah,
benefits.
because
at all.
then
why
if you-
should the other person that you marry?
That shouldn't even have nothing to do with them,
Yeah.
though. It should
No,
be.
it
the-
shouldn't.
It shouldn't at
And
all.
what
That-
if they don't? What if they don't have the ability to provide for, say, my
2 or
family
3
of
people?
3 at the time, my family of 3, and I get with somebody new, and they're not going to
Everything's
suddenly
taken
make
away.
double their paycheck just
Yeah.
because they.
No,
met somebody.
you've got a very good point. And I never thought of it that way. I just always thought of, if someone's getting $6,000 a
Well,
month and they get married, and
the
then they
way
don't
I
get
think
it, but
of it is that it is the man's job, and I'll step into that, but I don't care.
well, that's not a bad thing to say.
It is the man's job to provide
Yes.
for if he is gonna take on a new family of 4. If he's walking into a mom and 3 kids, it's his job to be able to provide for all 4. But that's also maybe the chauvinistic way of looking at it too, though.
He should, but if
Maybe.
let's say her husband was retired from the military and got killed, and
Or just
you were collect-
divorced.
Well, no, got killed, and you get his survivor pay for the rest of your life. Whether you get married or not, you still get that money if he's already retired, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it is. I mean, if you work somewhere and he retired and he's getting a pension, retirement pension, you should have that the rest of your life also. Whether he's, I agree with you on that. The more I think about it, you're right. That's something that the government owes you for the rest of your life. He worked, when y'all were together when he got killed, and you deserve that for the rest of your life. I agree with you. Before I didn't, and then listening to you say it,
I was
and
gonna
then
say,
your
like-
eyes were glassing over and stuff, and I started thinking, I thought, she's
It's all
right.
over the range.
Well, I mean, even if I were to get, remarried, it doesn't change the fact that he died.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I agree with you 100% on that one. And you're not the one I'm scared of. It's her, because she's the quiet one, and she's the one who'd kill me. I can tell right now. But I agree 100% with you. You're right. And boy, Andy, what an asshole thing for you to say, man. Go. Oof.
I think we got him fooled, huh?
But I really believe that I think you're right. You do deserve that, and they shouldn't take that away from y'all. And the kids, I can understand them not taking care of kids till they're 50 years old. I mean, in any other situation, a child till 25 years of age and let them get on their own.
Yeah.
So I understand that part of the deal where the government can't afford to pay and it's not even afford, they can afford it. But
I think it's when they turn 21, but I'm not.
I'm not 100%
I don't
certain.
remember.
And that, to me, that's fair.
Yeah.
Make sure they
I
go
think
to
it's
college.
fair.
That's
Yeah,
very
That's
fair.
They're going to go to
But the-
college. They're going to.
But their spouse is a different situation. And
How many
that's-
tours had y'all's husbands done?
3.
Mine was on his third.
And yours had done 3 also?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad deal.
Yes, it is.
And I hate that we have to do these hunts, or not have to, because we didn't have to do this, but I'm glad that we can do that.
I'm glad we did it.
And this has been a very enlightening weekend. And like I said, it has not been near as sad as I thought it would be. And I think it's because of y'all. Y'all made that way for us. Y'all broke the ice real well for us on that deal. Because we're
good icebreakers.
That's good. And I think it's the time. I think if you'd done this 2 years after or 3 years after, it would have probably been a whole lot different experience. And I think every situation is different. And I think y'all are strong because of each other. And I think that makes a lot of things. Y'all are friends. Y'all will be friends for life.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or some stupid gets in and somebody gets some drama going. You know how women are. If y'all had a third one, it's all over. That
We've already been through that. But the thing is we know how loyal we are to each other.
Yeah.
Like I would never lie to her. I have no reason to. I'm not much of a liar to begin with, but I'm horrible at lying. You can tell when I'm lying. It's awful.
Yep.
So there's no point in me lying.
Yep, she can tell when I am too. So
I know when she's got something going on, and I'm like, hey, like, tell me what's up. And if she's like, oh, it's nothing, I'm like, tell me the truth.
And that's good.
Because I can tell in her demeanor when there's something wrong.
Now, your parents, both y'all's parents, I don't know the situation with parents. Do y'all have parents?
Well, obviously, Jeff, they're here.
Well, no, but do you have parents you're close to or anything?
I have my mom left. My dad passed away about 11 months before my husband did.
My mom passed away in 2011. So I just have my dad, but he's in Virginia right now working.
So, but during this time, that's your parents had to really step in, or your dad, or whoever, moms or whatever, had to step
in-laws?
in. In-laws.
Are you close to your in-laws at all?
My in-laws live in Missouri, but I had my stepmom and I had my mom.
My mother-in-law died a year after my husband did.
Good Lord.
So I just have my father-in-law, but he's got his issues, but he tries and he comes to see the boys as much as he can. I mean, he can't talk to them. He has to type on his phone and, but he has someone that'll help him. He remarried, which is great. It helps him. At least I know he's okay.
Yeah.
Y'all are some tough cookies.
I'm telling you.
Now I'm
gonna get sad now. So
don't you dare.
Don't you dare.
None
Jeff.
of that. None of that.
We don't need that. I don't need to be crying.
It's a fun weekend.
No, because you're close.
If we can hold it together, you have to hold it together.
Exactly.
I'm the big one. I'm the one that always gives in. I go to a funeral and I'm the one, see the grieving wife and she's okay and stuff. And then next thing you know, somebody grabs Jeff and get him away.
Talks to her, just drags her down. It's like, God damn, Jeff. It's,
get away from him.
You didn't even know the fella. And you're just dragging her down. She was smiling earlier.
You got to find something to make you smile in every situation.
Like I 100% have cried with patients at work. 100%.
Oh, I'd have been a terrible doctor. I'd be like, you're gonna die. Oh my gosh.
There's nothing we can do for you.
How long do I have to live? 15 years, but I'm still gonna cry.
Yeah, the doctors go in there and like, oh, you have about 3 months, and they walk out.
Leave the nurse.
I'm like, no, get back in here.
Explain some stuff.
Lie to them, at least
we're not doing this.
Well, I appreciate y'all so much for being up here. Y'all are moms of the year right now. I'm telling you, y'all are very strong. Your boys are very blessed to have y'all, and your little girl, and your little boy, or whatever. You got a team of your own.
In your basketball team that you got at home. So,
do you live in a small town?
I do.
Oh, I bet they love you. Like, well, she's going to put 2 or 3 more kids in our school
Oh,
system.
No.
She says she's done, but we know.
Oh no,
we know otherwise. Well, listen, it has been a pleasure having you all out here.
Before we go into this, the boys, did they love the hog? First of all, Cedar Ridge Aviation, our friend Dustin Johnston and Garrett Durrett, they gave the boys helicopter hog hunts this morning. We've had all kinds of sponsors, and we'll get into all that later. Was the helicopter hog hunt the highlight of their?
Oh, yeah.
My gosh!
Oh my gosh! They loved it.
They said so. Wyatt's favorite hunt was his Nilgai. Elijah's was his black buck, and they both said this topped it.
Yeah.
So they absolutely loved it.
That's a bucket
And
list
we
thing for them to get to do.
couldn't be
Oh,
more
yeah.
appreciated.
There were a
Like,
lot of
it's
grown men
amazing.
that were very jealous of those two young boys when they went.
Yeah, if Rick,
Up in
if
the
Rick the
air.
camera guy was 100 pounds lighter, he would got to go up and film with them. So it didn't work out so good for him.
But yeah, there were a lot of FOMO going on from guys on the ground. So we're glad that it all worked out, and it was very nice of Dustin to
That was.
take the boys up. So I'm glad they had a good time, and
Go shoot some dove tonight and have a big steak, 2 steaks for
2 steaks.
Elijah.
big boy Elijah needs
Yeah.
2 steaks.
Yep.
But y'all are great, and it's been a pleasure talking to y'all.
Well,
So
thank you.
Thank you.
we'll bring Joe and Anthony in now. Thank
Yeah,
y'all for sharing y'all
And if
story.
there's anything else we can ever do, please let us know. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
appreciate
y'all
it.
very much.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye. So you're taking Dan's hat back? Yeah, Jeff was supposed to
Yeah.
send that to him, and or I think Dan might have said that he was gonna get it from Jeff.
Yeah, Dan said to have me bring it back while I'm down here because I'm gonna see him in 2 weeks.
Yeah, at the HorrorCon deal, right?
Yeah.
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 Were you supposed to send that to him, or was he coming back at Game Fair?
He was supposed to come back at Game Fair and it was poured down rain that day.
That's
And we
right.
stayed in the bus all day, remember?
That's right.
And then he's like, "Hey, could someone go get me a hat?" And I said, "Yeah, I can get you one." So I got him the hat. And I told him to charge me for it because I was going to give it to him or he was going to pay for it. So I made him pay for it.
Spell your last name for Jeff. That way, when I write this episode description out, I can get the correct spelling.
Gaddis. Hold on.
Gaddis.
Gaddis. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew a Joe Gaddis.
I knew a Joe Gatto and a Joey Calhoun.
I know a dickhead sandwich. So what the hell's I got to do with anything?
What was the what was on My Cousin Vinny? Callow. Not Joe Gallo. Joe Callow with a C. That's a great movie.
Yes. I still can't believe you made them girls cry. All right,
I
let's
didn't.
go. We were close, and all 3 of us had been bawling, and Andy would have been like, "What the hell's going on?"
What just happened?
All right, we're gonna do 3, 2, 1, or we just
Nope,
gonna continue
just
to go.
rock and roll.
All right, with us today, Anthony Gaddis and Joe Wesner.
With us now.
Wesner.
Yes, sir.
With us now,
With us now. Same day.
Joe. You are the reason we're doing this Gold Star Hunt. You give back to the kids and the adults and all veterans, and I think that's really good. Do you write a lot of paperwork up for them, or what do you do?
What do you mean, like paperwork?
Do you have to do a lot of paperwork to help them get everything filed with the VA, or
No, we don't do that.
'cause that's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I know some friends who work. They're like they're VSOs, veteran service officers. So a couple buddies of mine that are also on the board and reps for UVA. Between us, we know enough how to help them, and enough people. If we can't help them, we'll send them to them. But that's not mainly what we're here for. But we will.
Your
vets as
deal is
much
to
as we
get
can.
veterans in the field hunting
Yes,
and help them with PTSD and whatever else is that.
absolutely.
Is this I feel like this has gone well. Is this usually how it goes on your outings?
Yeah.
How would you rate this? 1 out of 1 to 10. How would you rate this?
Just with the attitude and everything. Because that was
It's a 9 to 10, easy. Seeing these, well, one, this is the first dedicated Gold Star event we've ever done. We've taken Gold Stars out. Fathers, mainly it's fathers that go out. But this is the first Gold Star moms we've had and Gold Star kids. And I didn't know what to expect. Like, I mean, I was expecting, all right, we're going to go dove hunt. What you were telling me about the helicopter and the sponsors, like, I was like, all right, this is going to be great. They're going to love it. But I had no idea what to expect with the kids and how the moms would be. And like, I had no idea. So it exceeded my expectations by far. And it's
they were the
It's
amazing. perfect moms for this because and we
Yes.
talked about it on the last
Yes.
podcast, like you've done hunts where it was specifically women
yes.
because they are I'm gonna kill this fucking fly. Hunt camp, it's
Yep.
all a bunch of dudes, and there's some women that don't really want to do that, but they fell right
Yeah.
in with the guys.
Oh yeah, they were amazing, and like you had said earlier, Jeff, was you didn't know what to expect. You thought it was going to be emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
They come in here and like, hey, joking around, just having a good
Yeah.
old time. I'm like, all right, it's not going to be like that.
They're redneck moms.
I love them.
They are. I mean,
They're awesome.
They remind me. There's a lady in town, or a friend of Michelle's named Lena Boger. Nice lady, and they remind me of Lena a lot. Just goes with the flow, likes to have fun. And I told Michelle last night, or I told Michelle when I was before she came out here, I said they're like Lena Boger. So they really are. You're going to really get along well with these ladies, and they really, really good.
Yeah,
and it's been great for us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We want 8 kids next year.
Done. Let's do it.
That's what I want.
Let's do it.
Now, Anthony, how did you meet Joe?
Through the church that we go to.
And you didn't know he was a veteran and all his story?
No. Do you want to tell the story, or do you want me to?
Ahead.
Go ahead.
bud.
You tell it. You tell it.
What, how
we met.
One of our pastors gave him my number, like giving out gift cards for like Christmas, and he called me, and it's been how it's been ever since.
So you met at Christmas time.
Yep.
Through church.
Yep.
My church tells everybody not to talk to me, so you're a lot better better guy than I am. So you served how many tours?
2 combat tours and 4 peacekeeping tours.
Okay, and the peacekeeping tours are just as bad as the other ones, aren't they? Sometimes
No,
they're
it's
not.
pretty easy, like pretty laid back, pretty easy.
So
where would you do a peacekeeping mission? Where would
It
that
was
be?
Bosnia, Kosovo, Macedonia.
Okay. So Eastern Europe then.
Yep.
So, but you did 2 combat tours in Middle East, right?
Yes, sir.
And the boys that you're with right now, what's their names?
Jeremy and Katy.
Jeremy and Caden. They are 20 and 17. Is I right?
20 tomorrow and 16.
20 and 16. 20 tomorrow and 16 years of age. And their father was your best friend.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell that story?
Like
The whole story. I mean, you tell me what you want to say. I'm not trying to be
like we served together in May 30th, 2007. He was killed in Baghdad, Iraq.
Were you with him?
Not at the initial incident. Like my platoon responded to his platoon in recovery rescue, and then like he was KIA. So like that's right. That part from there, it goes to like I was requested by his family to bring him home back here to Texas. We did service in Odessa where he was born, and then we flew back to San Antonio where his mom was living at the time, and he's buried at Fort Sam Houston Memorial Cemetery. I think that's what it's called.
Is that the Texas?
Right there at.
Is that the Texas cemetery for all the
I think so.
the Texas hero? I think I don't know for sure.
I'm not sure either because that was a really confusing, rough time for me. Like I was not really like in it mentally. I guess I was just going with the motions. And
Does the military give you leave for that type thing?
I was on leave for that for like a special duty.
But I mean, they don't. They say you go home, be with the family, and they're
yeah,
good.
like I was just requested to escort the body home.
So your best friend, you come back, and those boys were little boys.
Yes, like 4 and not even 1 yet.
Now you are the ultimate best friend because those boys are 4 and 1, and they live 1,000 miles from you.
Yes, sir.
And you still are a part of their lives. Mm-hmm. God bless you for that. Hats off. That's a good friend right there. Really good friend.
Now, did you know that it was your friend's platoon that was under attack that
Yes.
day? So you knew going in that there was
Yes.
a good chance that he probably.
Because we go by call signs and stuff like that. And we have battle roster numbers, and they start calling out battle roster numbers when you do your 9-line. So I just didn't have them all memorized. I just knew like certain ones.
So you knew them
You knew
before you got
his.
there. So
That he'd been involved. He had been involved in an incident, or his platoon had.
Yes.
You didn't know. You didn't necessarily know that.
I didn't
it was
know
him.
Yeah, I knew the platoon was, and they were calling over radio. They'd taking casualties.
we didn't ask the moms this, and I wish I would have now. And I think they send a chaplain to the house.
I have not.
Is that what
Not
they do?
sure.
They send a chaplain, and I know at least 2, maybe 3 different people that I know of, or I've heard, I should say. I don't know for a fact, but I know it's at least a chaplain and then some other officers and like a grief counselor.
Because I know during World War II, which was the most famous time in our countries for this kind of getting the calls, because there were so many people affected by it. A little county like Knox County, I think we lost almost 200 people during World War II. Now, our population was a lot bigger then. It was probably 12,000, 15,000 people here. but they would see that green car come into town, and everybody would be scared to death it was going to turn down your road. You know, because everybody had a friend or a family member that was overseas fighting. Everybody did back then. It was very common. And you'd see that car come into town, and everybody was, you know, just their heart would stop to see where it was going to go. So that I wanted to ask the ladies about that, and I wish I would just because I think it would have been a good question. But so you knew your buddies, you flew back home, and then after this all took place, how often did you see the boys?
Once a year at least. Talk to them regularly through text, stuff like that.
So do they have a stepdad?
Yeah.
Is he pretty active with them?
Yeah.
So he's a good stepdad too.
Yeah,
so they're very fortunate then.
Yes.
Because you told me you wanted to come back and do a goose hunt, and you wanted to bring the stepdad back.
Yeah.
With you and your son.
Yeah.
That's.
Is that did you assume the fatherly role whenever your friend passed? No, not at all.
No, because I was still in. They moved back. She moved back here to Texas, and I went home when I got out of the service.
You're like the cool uncle.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I get labeled as, a cool uncle.
But you take pride in the boys. I noticed that. You really you watched over them and stuff, and just that's a great thing, man. I mean, you know, thank you so much for doing that. People need that, but you care a lot, and that showed me how much you cared about your friend. And there's a special place in heaven for people like you, because we need more of that.
How does it work whenever you got requested to fly home with his body by his family?
Yes.
So
yes, sir.
And then how long are you with that? Are you just with him until he reaches home?
They took him to Dover Air Force Base. That's where they do mortuary affairs, I'm assuming, because that's where I picked up the body. Yep. It was already in a casket and everything, wards and everything, and they had a private, like a little plane that could carry 2 caskets and another escort. We jumped from different place to place to get to. We went to Arizona first, and then we stopped in Odessa, and then we spent like 2 or 3 days in Odessa, and then came to San Antonio.
So the government flew you from Dover to Arizona to Odessa.
Seems about like
well, no wonder they waste money all the time.
Well, it was a small plane because, like, from the story that I was told, is that when the war first started, they had problems with TSA, like holding the bodies for like so long because they were coming back on an international flight, and the government put a stop to it, and they put them on like a private plane.
What year was this?
07.
07. So at the height of the height of that the height of that
surge.
war.
It was a surge.
Yeah,
what they called it. That phase.
I remember
of the war.
that.
What was it? A roadside? Was it a roadside bomb? Or did they
deburied each HME, homemade explosives?
So an EID or basically or EDI. What do they call them things?
IED.
IED. So basically something like that.
Yeah, it was in a 55-gallon drum with a pressure plate.
And they walked over it or drove over it?
Drove over it.
That's, I mean,
they tossed their Humvee like it was nothing.
Really? That's got to be the war. I mean, obviously there's a lot of bad things, but it's just there's just you could get hit from anywhere over there. Like there's never a time when you're over there that you can feel like you can turn anything off.
Nope.
Even when you sleep at night, you're worried that
because they send rockets, mortars in all the time.
And they got all that from the Russians, correct? From what was it?
And then when they were fighting the Russians, they had all their stuff from us.
Right.
Someone's always supplying someone else. It's just like right now, what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, the reason the Ukraine and Russia are fighting right now is so we can pay the. I don't want to get into politics still, but it's all fucking about money.
Money laundering. Trump and what's crazy is I hadn't seen clips like that, but Trump called it. Like he told everybody what was going to happen with the Ukraine and what we can dive off into a little bit. What is it? The pipeline? What's it called?
Nordstrom.
Keystone?
Nordstrom in the
Keystone's
so
ours.
The Russian one that they just got blown up last week.
All right.
But Biden said we're going to turn it off if Germany doesn't play by the rules and they help Russia, we're going to cut that pipeline off. And somebody was like, "Well, how can you do that? The Germans control it." He's like, "We'll do it." And now, so basically, the way I understand it is, Putin knew that if he cut the gas line off, Germany was going to freeze in the winter. So he was going to cut it off and say, "You're going to help Russia, or you're going to freeze." So Biden knows this. The United States knows this.
Biden doesn't know his name.
No.
The United States knows this, and they're like, okay, that's going to get used. Germany's going to flip when winter comes because Putin's going to turn that off. So we need to cut it off before he ever has that opportunity. So now it's just basically
Big Mike and Twinkle Dick is the one that done this shit. Let's be honest with each other. We all know that. They're the ones running things anyways.
Agree.
But it's just there's so many pieces at play that we don't even know. But just like that, like I would have never known anything.
Same thing that happened during Iraq, Iran, the surge, everything. As we find out later on in the world, we're all just puppets in their game, and it's a
They don't
bullshit
give
deal.
shit.
Yep.
And I'm sick and tired of our soldiers being pawns, and it's been this way forever. I mean, it's happened
just didn't
probably
know.
since the Korean War. It was all the same way. The last war that we were in where we actually could win was World War II. We had an objective, we conquered, and that was the end of it. Korea, we had to stop at a certain place. Vietnam, we had a certain place. You fought over there, and you had to wait until somebody shot at you before you could shoot at them. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty
What
much.
kind of bullshit is that?
How many times did they change the rules of engagement on y'all when y'all were over there?
At least twice.
Yeah.
For,
Multiple.
yeah.
Multiple.
So you go over there, you've got this mindset of, okay, these are the rules I got to play by. And then in the middle of playing by these rules, they're like, oh, nope. We're
Because one of the things I remember, like they kind of changed our ROE, the rules of engagement, because of collateral damage. Where you're doing too much damage. You're costing us too much money.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
what does that even mean? You're costing us too much money.
And to pay off them people.
Yeah, we had to, like, if we
So we go in, we blow up a village that's got ISIS
And we
in it,
pay
and
'em.
we've got to pay them back for blowing up their buildings because they were housing ISIS.
Correct.
Only America is the only dumbass country in the world that would do that shit. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, same as also trying our soldiers. Oh, you're shooting at us and we shoot back and we accidentally kill somebody. So, you know what? We're going to try our soldiers for murder. That's bullshit.
Yep.
You know, and we finally had someone in office that was sick of that shit and he was fixing it. And then the liberal bleeding heart fuckers in this country killed it. And I'm sorry for getting away. Wasn't going to do politics, but that's the way I think. And I think if I talked to 90% of the soldiers in the world, they'd all agree with exactly what I said. I mean, it's a bullshit deal. And I'm fed up with this bullshit.
What? Jeff.
Well, I'm telling you right now, the fucking politicians our country have ruined our country. And it ain't just something new that's been going on. We was blind to it. Now we're not blind to it at all. But when you see some drunk bitch like Nancy Pelosi sitting up there talking about this bullshit, or Chuck Schumer, them fuckers ain't never done nothing. Their kids have never served. They've never served. They haven't ever done shit for this world. All they've done is getting rich because their dads were rich being politicians. We need real people representing our country. And this shit we wouldn't have all the problems we have right now. You could go to a random Walmart in the shittiest place in the United States and pluck out 500 fucking people walking through the door, and you would have better representation than we have now in our country. And I think everybody knows it. And that's the problem in our country.
Now, what has your experience been with the VA? Has it been positive? Has it been 50-50 más o menos?
kind of 50-50 trying to, like, pulling teeth to get somebody to do something, and or they cancel an appointment and don't tell you.
Right. Who did we have on? They said it was Ryan Lonergan. He said the same thing. He would just be going, he'd have an appointment, and he lives 2 hours away, so he'd have his whole day arranged around going to the VA, and they'd be like, oh, no, we can't get you today.
And it's not the people that work at the VA, I don't think. I think it's the is it some of them work?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
I figured it was more administrative problems than the actual
it's-
doctors that are there.
It's like where people will cancel your appointments. We won't worry about calling them.
Do you think one of the things is, and I've always I think about this because of pain situation, because he's got a really high tech job, and when he gets out, he can make 5 times the amount of money he's making in the military out of the military.
Right.
So why do you stay long? Well, why can't we afford to pay him 5 times more, and instead of losing someone like him to go to Google or to wherever he goes to work? What about our doctors? I mean, military doctors, a captain's pay is a captain's pay, whether you're a heart surgeon or you're just a captain doing whatever captains do.
Well, if you have a technical specialty, they do get paid a little more,
But
They
not
do
a
get-
lot.
No, but they get like a surgeon, a specific surgeon will get a benefit for being.
He'll get a little bit more money.
Oh yeah,
But let's take an orthopedic surgeon, which was very well needed during all the battle stuff. We need so the best orthopedic surgeons are not working in the U.S. Army, Navy, military. They're leaving and going to work for Johns Hopkins or one of these hospitals, making a lot more money.
oh yeah.
Our government, if we can afford to give billions to other countries and all this shit we give in foreign aid, we ought to be able to pay the best doctors to want to stay in the Army.
You would think.
You know? Because I'm assuming you're going to be a major or something if you're a surgeon in the Army. I don't know. You might be a captain. We know a girl that's a dentist that just become a dentist, and I think she's a captain now. is what she's told us. We need to get
can't
her on the
remember.
podcast too. But anyways, let's say you're a major higher than a captain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say a major. I don't know what a major makes in the military. I'm assuming 10,000 a month.
I have no idea.
But let's say 10,000 a month. But if he goes out and works on his own as an orthopedic surgeon, he's making $50,000 a month.
Right.
Our government can afford $50,000 a month to keep a great orthopedic surgeon in, and he probably is making a whole lot more of that on his own.
Right.
But that's the kind of guys, and somebody with common sense up there says, "Hey, let's give some incentives. Let's don't make him do 50 fucking push-ups in the morning. If he wants to be a surgeon
Right.
and he's a great orthopedic, who gives a shit? You know, let him have a scotch for breakfast if he wants, if he can operate."
Steady as hands.
I mean, that's the liberal
I've
logic.
seen
for you.
I've seen that. Like we were in Kuwait. It was our second deployment. There was a medical unit coming through at the same time we were. He was a full bird colonel, and he had to be as big as this table. But he was a doctor, like a specific I don't even remember what he was, but he was a doctor. He's like, I'm just a colonel, man. I just go here and work on people. I don't do anything else the Army tells me. I just put on the uniform and
But
go do surgery.
and that's fine. If that's what I mean, that's what we need. Every doctor I've known is either in great shape or he's a fat fucker. There ain't no in between. You don't meet a doctor that's halfway in between. He's either an out of shape 3 sandwich eating son of a bitch, or he's in great shape and takes care of himself. So what matters? But if he can save lives and do his job, let him do it. And that's we don't need him to go fight people and run over mountains and stuff. We need him to operate. And I don't get it. Let's go back.
Did you have another tour after your friend passed? No, you were. That was it.
done. I was November of 07. We got back on Thanksgiving Day, back to our home duty station, which was in Germany. 30 days later, it was Christmas Eve. I was back in Ohio.
Let's talk about the boys. The boys have adjusted pretty well to this now.
Yeah.
They're living regular lives now.
Yep.
Have they enjoyed this hunt?
Yes, they have.
Did they enjoy the hog hunt?
Oh, they.
Are they glad I talked them into it then?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, because they had the choice to go shoot deer hunting or hog hunting. And I told them, I said, listen, most men's bucket list is to go to helicopter hog hunt. Not everybody will be able to afford it in their lifetime because it's not a cheap endeavor. I said, you can always go deer hunting. It's easy to find a deer hunt, but you may not ever get the opportunity to helicopter hog hunt again. And I'm glad so they did have a good time.
Yes,
there.
they did.
Great. That makes me feel so good. I appreciate Dustin and Garrett for doing that. Gosh almighty, what a great thing to give.
Appreciate it. From them, for me personally, the Ultimate Veteran Adventures, Joe getting in contact with me, y'all sponsoring it, hosting it, I appreciate it more than y'all know.
Oh, you're very well. It's been a blessing for us. I'm telling you right now. This is a great thing that we've done. Or not we. That sounds horrible. It's a great thing to get to be able to do, is what I'm saying. Because it ain't a we deal. It's an us deal. All of our sponsors, I mean, I could go down a list. I guess we ought to announce it. Let me see that piece of paper over there.
Here, I can do it. It was, basically everybody gave something. So Boss Shot Shells gave ammunition to the kids for their dove hunt. Dive Bomb gave shotgun bags, cases, the waterproof cases. Pacific gave duck calls for the kids. Shin Gear gave shirts. Lucky Duck gave spinners. Looking Glass, they sent over donations. Dirty Duck sent hats. Ducks Unlimited sent
all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of little goodies. And Double T British Kennel sent mugs and stuff. So,
and Mossberg donated guns to the kids.
Yep.
I mean,
it was
everybody
toe
tags.
Toe tags, yeah.
Ryan Warden.
I was just reading off the list there. Yeah, for if the boys go duck hunting or something, so make sure they get that.
And we've had a lot of financial donations. The boys are going to get a check to take home with them too. So it's been a really very positive situation.
I told my wife if there was any good that ever came from starting this dopey podcast, it was this weekend. I mean, we talk goose hunting and we talk to outdoors people and stuff like that. So I mean, if there was ever anything that positive that could come from this, it happened this weekend. So it has been a pleasure and an honor to have you guys out here.
I realized how far our reach was when I had other organizations contact me. Mm-hmm. And how do you get people to help donate stuff to you and sponsor? I just reached out to the people that we deal with all the time.
Right.
And you realize that it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Correct.
And if you know the right person, you can get things done. And we had so many people reach out to us and want to help. And it's been a really, 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 really great weekend. And I look forward to next year.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some more things to be able to get some more kids in the doors. Dustin and them said they would love to be a part of it, and that just makes me feel good. It makes me still feel so good because my hometown. I'm gonna get upset now. For the guys to reach out the way they did, it makes me feel good that I'm an American and that I'm a Texan. By gosh, because I'm proud that I'm a Texan that would step up to help us with this, and that made me feel so good. And it's not just Texans, but it's a lot of people. But for Dustin and Garrett to step up, for a guy to take his helicopter, and to spend his time and his money to do that, and
he had to catch a flight at 11:15.
and
So
flew-
I mean, you know,
and flew his helicopter to Abilene so he could get on an airplane to go to West Virginia. Meant so much to me.
it's not like he had a Saturday to kill. Like he
Right.
had to be in West Virginia at 11:30.
And-
Unreal. This morning, and not to cut you.
No, that's fine. 'Cause
He's wanting a lifesaver.
Oh yeah,
He's wanting a buoy.
throw it to you. This morning, before everyone came in for breakfast, sitting in the kitchen there, when he was going over his schedule, he's like, "Well, the flight leaves at this time. It takes this many minutes to walk from where I'm going to park the helicopter, and then I have to think of security. I got to be out of here by 9. Well, we'll push it to 9:30.
We'll push it to 9:30.
but that speaks volumes.
100%. Yes.
You know what's funny?
Yes.
He played kid sports with Andy growing up.
Oh wow.
It's a local kid that, and his partner. It meant so much to me for them to step up, because we haven't talked much about it local.
No, not at all.
I called him and I said, "Hey," I said, "we're doing this." He said, "We'll do whatever you need us to do."
Yep.
And I said, "If you could just do something else." I wanted to do a helicopter ride for the kids. That's all I
we
wanted.
didn't even expect
like,
guns and shoot pigs. Like we
said,
wanted them to fly
yeah.
the river or something like that.
"Could you take the kids up for a helicopter ride?" He goes, "Well, we can shoot some pigs out of a helicopter." I thought,
was
"There's no
neat,
way."
yeah.
And that's what all I wanted, was to see if we could do that.
Yeah.
And he volunteered to do that. And I'm gonna tell you something. When we have a fire out here, he's the first people. He gets in a helicopter and he does it on his own time and his own money, and he goes and puts fires out. We've had people missing in storms, and he gets that helicopter up and he's found people for the police. There's high-speed chases. They use him all the time.
Wow.
And it's Cedar Ridge Aviation in Knox City, Texas. And I'm so proud of what they do for our community.
Yeah.
Isn't that really? But I did just ask for a helicopter ride, and he took those kids up, and that meant so much to me.
That was
Really did.
amazing. Right.
You know,
Seeing the boys' face when they got off that
when they got off the
helicopter.
helicopter, it was electric. They were like, "This is great! This is like the greatest day ever."
No, that's so.
He
good.
did a flyby when we were out in the field filming, and he was low and he tipped it right there, and they're all like, thumbs up, like smiling.
Jeremy's like,
That's awesome, man.
Oh, it was amazing. To
I saw
see.
some of the footage because I mean he herded the pigs kind
Yeah,
of
he did.
right,
He did.
right.
he brought them to him so they could film it.
Film
and,
it.
Like,
Yeah.
it was.
I mean, he had
was
the
perfect.
pigs 20 yards from us.
It was
standing
so
there. We're
close
like,
that Rick pulled
we
out a
need to get a
handgun.
gun. Like, we're like, these pigs might run us over.
That's awesome.
But
that-
yeah, he put on the show because we could
Yeah.
see everything from up here. So we saw him go from the far side of that field, and I was like, I think he's got some pigs.
Yeah.
And then we could see him running across, and we were like, I bet he's pushing them to those guys, and he'd kind of maneuver it and cut them off, and I mean he got 'em.
That was amazing to watch.
He got them right. But I've seen some of the footage, and it's going to be really good. But I mean Joe, I mean you do incredible work with this organization, and I'm so glad that we have met you and crossed paths, and you know I'm so proud that it has led to this, because I think we can do a lot of good in years to come. I mean, getting people out, and
This is just the first of the
Right.
year, and there's no telling what we could do. I've had so many people reach out to me in the last week, and they're like, "Man, if we'd have known," because we didn't.
Right.
I don't want to sound like a Democrat and go asking people for crap all the time.
Yeah.
So I just asked the people that I'm friends with,
Sure.
and then I had a lot of people that I'm friends with that reached out to me that I didn't ask.
Right.
And we're gonna make it a lot more next year. And the guys that are here in my group that's here, they come every year the same weekend. They've
Right.
been wonderful about this,
Oh,
because
they're-
they were
yeah.
so. He's like,
yeah.
what all can we do, Jeff? You know, I said, well, we've got that handled, but just for them to step up like they did. And I'm gonna tell you, the first year, this is their 25th year to be here this weekend. No, this is 24th. Next year's gonna be
Wow.
their 25th year, and they're inviting everybody that they've ever had in the 25 years. They started out as a father-son church group, and they had church right up there by the social room the first couple of years they were here.
Wow.
And they had a preacher come out and preached and stuff to them and stuff. And it's more. Most of my customers are that way. Our customers are the same people here every year, the same weekend during dove season, and the same weekday groups that I have year in and year out that are here every time. And I'm proud of that because we work hard to try to get people to come back.
Absolutely.
And we can't control the hunting, but we control everything else. And
Yeah.
we try to give people a good meal.
Yep.
And my ladies work really hard. And it was a very touching moment for everyone this weekend. And
Yeah.
I am really proud of you guys, and what you've done is a great thing. And started out as a podcast with us, and you were a podcast guest, and
go
look
figure.
at this.
Yeah.
And I remember when you said something, I said, we'll do a Gold Star hunt at the lodge. I had no idea what I was.
I can't thank you guys enough for that.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
this has been
our
unreal.
pleasure.
Just, yeah, this is amazing.
Big Honker Lodge is not the fanciest lodge in the world by any means, but by gosh, we try.
I have no
great.
complaints.
It's great.
Well, I appreciate
It's a
that.
bed to sleep in and a
Yeah.
warm meal. 3
Yep.
hots and a cot. You
Yep.
get out
That's
here.
what you're going to get.
Absolutely.
I know it's getting later in the evening. I know y'all guys want to hunt, but I do just want to tell you, y'all have done an amazing job. You stepping up with the boys and being a mentor to them, and Joe, putting these things on all across the country. So my hat's off to both of you gentlemen. And
You're going to a big,
it's been a very positive weekend.
yes, and you're going to a big veteran hunt you're going to in Wisconsin.
The Horcon.
Yeah,
Horcon.
Horcon Marsh. Yeah,
And,
that's in 2 weeks, I believe. But I'm going up to Wisconsin tomorrow after we're done here. I'm driving up, and we're doing a hunt. There's 3 veterans.
Ryan, one of them.
Lonergan. Yeah, Ryan Lonergan.
Lonergan.
Ryan and Lonergan.
Yeah, he's one of them. We're going to hunt till Thursday, and we're coming home Friday.
Is Dan going to be at the one you're going to this next
No,
week? He's
he's
going to
gonna
the
be at
Horror
work.
Con. Okay.
Correct. Yep, he'll be.
And
at
you're going to
work.
wear his hat the whole
So
way,
you'll have
right?
plenty
I
of
sure
you'll,
am.
You'll get his hat nice and broken
Oh,
by the
it's gonna
time
be
he
all-
gets
oh,
to it.
yeah. Oh,
nice
yeah.
and sweaty. You might mow the grass a couple times in it.
Oh yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, we're not going to keep y'all any longer. I know y'all want to get
Thank
down there
y'all,
start
and
that
God
hunt.
bless y'all so much for what y'all do. And we look forward to next year. And I hope you
Thank
come
you.
along next year just as a helper and just come hang out.
It's up
Yeah.
to Joe if he wants
Hey.
to.
Let's see how you act.
You still got one. You still got
gotta
one more
prove
night.
myself.
Yeah, you still got one more night. So don't
And-
get ahead of yourself.
And go Michigan, right?
I mean, if you have
Really?
to, nobody's perfect.
Did Ohio State win again today?
Well, they're winning.
Well, OU did
winning.
win today. And so then people in Sooner Land are going to be crying.
Thank
It'll be
goodness.
fire Brent Venables. I'm going to hear it already.
Right.
The greatest coach in the world 2 weeks ago. Now they're going to fire him. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Have a wonderful week. Be safe. And don't cheer for the Dallas Cowboys.
There you go. All right. Bye, everybody. Go check out all of our great sponsors. Listen, we've had a lot of people donating to for the Gold Star Hunt, and that's been amazing. But don't forget about our sponsors. Go check out Hunt Proof App, Double T British Kennels, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Bangtail Whiskey, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Shin Gear Waders, Gun Dog Outdoors, Pacific Calls, Dive On Ministries, and Boss Shot Shows.